7 ways to become more emotionally mature. Most people believe that maturity comes with age. And while exploration does suggest that emotional maturity improves with age, that's not the case for everyone. You might feel wedged on your trip to getting emotionally mature, or have no idea where you're in your growth. But that does not mean you can't succeed in tone enhancement. It simply means you need to learn how to ameliorate your emotional maturity. And we are then to help you do that. Let's review what emotional maturity is, where childhood stems from, and signs of emotional maturity to gauge your progress. When we suppose of someone who's emotionally mature, we generally picture a person who has a good understanding of who they are. Indeed, if they do and have all the answers, an emotionally mature existent gives off a sense of calm amid the storm. They are the bones we look to when going through a delicate time because they perform well under stress. In other words, emotional maturity is when someone can manage their feelings no matter their circumstances. They know how to respond to tough situations and still keep their cool. It's a skill set they can constantly work on over time. 1. Drop the shame. There's nothing wrong with having a lacking quantum of emotional maturity, especially given your renewed interest in raising your position of it. We're all doing the stylish we can with what we were tutored, and making yourself feel poorly about that benefits no bone. Rather, rejoice in your mindfulness of this because that is where you will decide your power. The further conscious we come of our emotional childhood, the further we've agency to change the guest and grow into emotional maturity. 2. Try to take control over your feelings. It can be grueling to keep your feelings to yourself, and indeed constantly expressing them can beget issues. However, over time, you could come to believe that no bone is concerned about your requirements and wants. If you do and express your passions, you might feel nervous, depressed, and stressed as a result. Still, if you express all of your sentiments, it could put you in a vulnerable place where people might judge you and suppose you can control your feelings. This can take a risk on your internal health. One has to learn how to streamline feelings in a way so that balance can be achieved so as to make further rational opinions. Also, emotionally mature people are veritably good at showing empathy. Emotionally mature individualities approach life by doing as much good as they can in supporting those around them. You know how to put yourself in someone differently's shoes, meaning you frequently feel more concern for others and try to find ways of helping. 3. Put yourself in someone differently's shoes. An emotionally immature person generally only sees one side of the situation their own. They tend not to see what someone differently could be going through. However, still, you may learn commodity new about yourself if you try to imagine yourself as that person. For case, when you have a disagreement with someone, consider effects from their perspective. Ask yourself what former life jests that person has had. If they knew the same information as you leading up to the situation, and what's going on in their home life. Imagine yourself as them once you've asked yourself these questions, and you may be suitable to change your station. Let's say your friend is a person of color who tells you that you're naturally privileged. With emotional maturity, you should be suitable to take a step back, see how being of the maturity race gives you further honor than being in knowledge. 4. Knowing that they do and know everything. An emotionally mature person knows what they do and know, and also knows that their own way of doing effects may not be the only way or indeed the stylish way. They do and argue just to be right, or to show dominance to be in charge. They keep an open mind and have open cognizance and eyes to look for situations where they may be suitable to learn commodity, as well as know when they may have commodity positive to contribute to a situation that can help others. 5. They laboriously seek out multiple points of view to help inform their own. Emotionally mature people laboriously seek to inform their own opinions by laboriously seeking out the points of view of others. They do and feel hovered by disagreement, but look to be informed by people, and aren't hysterical to question both their own persuasions, knowing that they do and live in a vacuum. It's not about an argument to prove who's right. It's about wanting to be informed by different points of view to further clarify their own points of view, or feeding that maybe their point of view may indeed be wrong. 6. Embrace reality. Reality is what is or the way effects are. It exists singly of your opinions about it. Embrace it and find peace. Repel it and experience pain and frustration. Some of your realities you chose, career, who you married, and others were thrust upon you by your heritage, your elevation, age, or other factors outside your control. Nonetheless, they form the boundaries or parameters within which you live and make choices daily. This isn't to say that you can't change some realities. Some you can, some you can't. But at this moment, which is the only moment that's real, what is to be happy and effective. You must admit and admire rather than fight against the realities of your life, denying, avoiding, complaining, or refusing to suppose about uncomfortable realities gives those very effects inconceivable power over your life. For illustration, if you're upset about your finances, sit down and take stock of exactly where you're, where an important you owe, and exactly how you'll pay it off. Fun? No. Uncomfortable? Clearly. But by taking power of the reality, you've now equipped yourself to change it. Do the same with any reality that you've been defying or avoiding. 7. Observe rather than reply to other people's childhood. Two crucial rudiments of developing emotional maturity understanding and recycling your own feelings and also being suitable to handle the differing situations of emotional maturity that the people around you parade. It's important to stay present and observe the guest rather than reply to it. Also, you can choose to communicate openly about it. Signs of emotional childhood. People who are emotionally immature don't meet society's prospects for social guests. Within their age range, it's safe to assume that a grown-up will be suitable to consider their impact on others and pay attention to their passions. Emotionally mature people can accept review and learn from it. Grown-ups with emotional maturity can suppose about and plan for the future as well. People with emotional childhood, still, struggle with these effects. Emotionally immature people warrant certain emotional and social chops and have trouble relating to other grown-ups. Some actions can be a signal that you are dealing with an emotionally immature person. Impulsive guest. Children are frequently impulsive. They speak out of turn or touch effects that they shouldn't touch. They say effects without allowing about how they'll affect other people over time. People learn not to do those effects. Emotionally immature grown-ups haven't learned to check their impulses. They act in changeable or social ways, demanding attention. Youthful children get wearied when people do and pay attention to them. They'll do effects to draw the focus back to themselves. Indeed, if that means acting out in negative ways, emotionally immature grown-ups frequently do the same. They might not act out in negative ways, but they may fit themselves into exchanges or crack unhappy jokes to get everyone's attention. Avoidance. Emotionally immature people may not have a good sense of the future or how to plan for it, refusing to take on significant liabilities like married connections. Careers or investments like homeownership are signs of avoiding responsibility. People like this might let others take care of them way beyond the point that they should be sufficient. This is occasionally called Peter Pan pattern, after the fictional character who no way wanted to grow up. Egocentricity. An essential hand of maturity is the capability to suppose about other people's requirements and passions. Immature people only appear to watch about themselves. They dislike concession and do want to take other people's ideas into account. They always want to have their own way. Final studies. You may not be suitable to smooth out a relationship with an emotionally immature person on your own. However, look for someone who can help through it. If that's the case, a family counselor or couples therapist can help you and your loved one learn to relate in more positive ways. Still, try speaking to someone in mortal coffers about the situation. If the emotionally immature person in your life is a colleague, they might be suitable to help you find more formative ways to work together. People can grow and change. However, you may be suitable to help them learn to bear more like a grown-up if someone you watch about is emotionally immature. However, speak to a counselor about how to watch for yourself while dealing with an emotionally immature person if they do not want to change. So this is all for today's video. Do not forget to like, share, And subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified as soon as they upload a video. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in next one.